Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our 1997 Toyota Land Cruiser. We're going to be getting this cylinder head completely assembled and ready to go on the motor. As you can see, I've got some parts laid out on my table here along with the cylinder head. These are a lot of the parts, not all of them. You can see some valves and springs and things that are not on the table yet. I'm going to start reassembling the cylinder head. This is for the 1FZ motor, the 4.5 liter inline six that comes in these 80 series Land Cruisers. When I disassembled this thing, I went ahead and labeled everything as far as which valve it came from so that I put them back in the right spots, so all the clearances and everything were like they were from the factory. Now, does that mean they're going to be correct? Maybe, maybe not. More times than not, the clearances are going to be fine. Particularly, I'm talking about the buckets and the valve shim. But once we get everything reassembled, I'm going to go ahead and use some feeler gauges to check the clearances on the buckets. Make sure they're all correct against the cam lobes. That way we don't have any unnecessary clattering or loose clearances or clearances that are too tight whenever everything's back together and running. I've got some motor oil. You can use assembly lube too. I just didn't have any assembly lube, so I'm using motor oil for lubricant on the parts that need a little bit of lubrication. I put a little bit of motor oil in this cap, and I've also got some Q-tips with me so that I can get it into the places I need without making too much of a mess. First thing I'm going to do is put in the new valve stem seals. And you can tell there's some that are in a bag and there's some that are out here in the open. If you ever buy these from Toyota in the entire upper end rebuild kit, they come in a much larger kit with a lot of gasket studs and some other things, and they keep them separate like this in the packaging because they are slightly different. The exhaust valve stem seals, oops, there we go, they have this little flange at the bottom. If you see that flange, that flat section at the bottom, while the intake valve stem seals, it's hard to see them in this bag, but they do not have a flange at the bottom, if you can see it there. I'm going to be using this tool set in order to install them. This is what I use to remove them as well. This is the puller. It has a nice little round section there that you put around the valve stem seal. When it's in the cylinder head, you grab it like that, pull it out, makes it a lot easier. I'm not going to need that today. What I'm going to be using is this tool right here. It's hollow on the inside and it fits really well right over the top of the valve stem seal, and it grabs the collar, not the plastic part. That's what you want. And you're going to grab this handle that has a threaded end in order to use that socket. I can't do it with one hand. I'm going to thread it onto there, and that way it gives you a nice firm handle to hold on to and push down the valve stem seal. And there we go. Now, before I put any of these on, I'm going to start on the exhaust side. I'm going to take my Q-tip, put some oil on there, and what I want to do is get a little bit of oil on this guy right here so that it goes on easily and it doesn't bind up. I'm going to do that on all 12 of these on the exhaust side. Now that I've got motor oil on all of those, I'm going to take one of my exhaust valve stem seals, gently place it on there. You just want to drop it into place. Kind of get it aligned with your finger. There you go. Now take your tool with the open end, align it on there, and you want this to be as square as possible. What I mean by square is make sure that it's pointing out of the hole at the correct angle of the valve stem. And once you have that aligned, then you want to gently push down. One click. Couldn't get it on camera, but after I click it on by hand, I also take my brass hammer, hold this guy on here, and give it a gentle tap. And that's it. Not hard. You don't want to hammer it in. Just a gentle tap. Make sure it's seated all the way. Now let's go ahead and do that for the remaining 11 exhaust seals. All of those are in and firm. One of them kind of got a little bit crooked, and it didn't want to go on, and it was at an angle where I couldn't really pick it up with my hands. If that happens, don't try to shove it in there or force it in. Just grab your little tool, your puller, put it in there, grab the valve stem seal, take it out, and realign it and start over. Now with our Q-tip, we're going to get a little bit of oil on each of the stems on the intake side. Make sure you remember the intake seals do not have that flange at the bottom of them. So this is what they look like. Now that those are oiled, let's get all of these on. I'm going to be lapping all of the brand new valves. Those are the intake ones that I already unboxed. I've got the intake valves lined up here, which are the ones I'm going to start with. And if you've ever built a cylinder head or rebuilt a cylinder head, you know that they will not seal up correctly if you just throw them in like that. You've got to lap all of these valves to get them to fit flush with your valve seat. Now, what's valve lapping? It is essentially sanding the two surfaces together with a compound that is specifically made for lapping valves into valve seats. There's a lot of different valve lapping compounds. A lot of people have their own opinions. You can start, if you want to get super professional and have a polished surface on all the valve seats and the valves themselves, you can start with the coarse and then go to the fine and then the polishing compound all the way up to 300, 400 grit if you really want to. For me, I've tried that in the past, a long time ago over the years as I've done different projects, and I've tried the simple ones, and I tell you what, the simplest one that just works, and it's not sexy, and it's not the fanciest one, is this Permatex, this one right here, 80036. You can find it at just about any local automotive store, or you can order it online on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description if you want to get it online. This stuff is what they call multi-grit. In a single compound, it has the more coarse abrasives that break down quickly, and then it also has the finer abrasives to give you a little bit of a more smooth and polished edge, but it's not going to polish anything to a shine. You're going to need a very simple tool, and that's this guy. Well, this is the smaller one. I have the bigger one sitting here stuck on one of the intake valves. It's basically suction cups, right? Suction cups with a stick in the middle. And this is the kit I bought just because I couldn't find my old ones. I haven't done this in a few years. And it's got 4 different size suction cups for different size valves. There are some valve lapping tools that you can stick on a drill and use the drill to bzz, 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 you know, do that thing. Personally, what I find is that when I'm doing this, what I'm listening for is the sound of the grit changing, which I'll show you here in a minute when I do a couple of them. And when you use a drill, you can't really hear that sound well. You're more going off the feel, but the drill and the motor, the drill and everything makes so much vibration and sound, you can't really hear the sound of the grit as it breaks down and changes in pitch. And if you've never done this before, don't use the power drill method because you also run the risk of over grinding it mistakenly. It's a lot easier for a drill to get a whole bunch of turns on that thing versus a hand tool that you've got to spin by hand. Highly recommend against using a drill, especially if this is your first or second time doing this. All right, you put some of the compound, there you go, on the little surface you want to grind. Good job. You got it? Mm-hmm. That's good. Doesn't have to be totally covered. All right, now we're gonna put it in here. Good job. Just tap it. There you go. So you see there it got quiet? Yeah, right there it got quiet. So he's gonna turn it about 90 degrees. And he's gonna keep going. Right there, got quiet. See, turn it 90 degrees. We got all that cleaned up. There it is. All right, let's see what that valve looks like, eh? You can put it right here. Okay, so that is about as much grinded seat as you want. Any more than this is too much. So this is about the right amount. This is about the max you would want. This is also another reason not to use a drill because you're going to grind too much of a surface into the edge of that valve. So if you're looking at doing a 1FC intake valve, that's about the most amount of a grinded edge that you want for your intake valves. So that's perfect. So we got 2 of them done. We're gonna do the other, what's 12 minus 2?
I don't know, 10.
10? All right, I'm gonna do the other 10 on the intake side and then we'll move on to the exhaust side. take a look at the valve. All right, what do you think, eh?
It looks like a valve.
So, you see that edge there? It's hard to tell from this thing with the way it's zooming. Okay, there we go. So, you've got a good amount of area that's been ground, and what you want to do is obviously look around the entire edge, make sure there's no pitting, and make sure there's no rough surfaces, stuff like that. And if you feel comfortable with it, it should be good to go. If you feel like you need to go, that's a piece of the towel right there. If you feel like there's more room for improvement, you can always go another round. I'm gonna wrap this video here. On the next video, we're gonna continue assembling the cylinder head. In the meantime, I love you guys. I will see you next time.